Tens of thousands of mourners have turned out in Gaza for the funerals of the protesters killed by Israeli soldiers on Monday. At least 60 people lost their lives in what's become the deadliest day in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict since 2014. The injuries, quite incredible too, 2,700 more than that currently injured, a lot of them hit with live ammunition. Well, the violence came as the US controversially opened its new embassy in nearby Jerusalem.
What a glorious day. Remember this moment. This is history.
We extend a hand in friendship to Israel, the Palestinians, and to all of their neighbors. May there be peace.
We pray for the peace of Jerusalem.
I'm here in Bethel in northern Ramallah, where ever since midday prayers ended, crowds have been arriving to protest against the Israeli soldiers who are just a short distance behind me. As you can see, they've kind of demarcated this area by burning tires. And from here, they're hurling rocks and stones at the soldiers who are just a short distance in front of us. Now, every so often, the soldiers surge forward and start firing tear gas into the crowds. The ambulances have been ferrying wounded people every so often. There are a number of people who have been injured, and we're hearing that some of them are serious. These scenes are being repeated across the West Bank. This is part of the Nakba Day commemorations. Palestinians mark this as a day of catastrophe. As you can see here, they're getting ready to reinforce themselves further against the Israeli soldiers. There's also been the burning of tires, and then if you look in the distance over there, there have been small fires that have started all along the road. This comes just a day after the Americans moved their embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, and that too sparked the worst day of violence since the last Gaza war back in 2014. It's a tear gas. So we're running now because there's tear gas coming in our direction, and as you can see, the crowd is moving. It's always difficult to tell where exactly it's coming from, so we're just going to make our way further back. And as you can see, the situation is extremely tense. Let's just get out of here. There's a drone in the sky that everybody's pointing to, so we think that it's firing tear gas on the crowd here. And so we're going to move all the way back, so we're not right on top of the soldiers. And let's see from here what's going on. The situation does go from one moment to the next, becoming incredibly tense. Paul Islier, RT, Ramallah.
Well, let's cross live now to Suhir Zakut, spokesperson for the International Committee of the Red Cross in Gaza. Thanks for being on the programme this hour. First of all, how have medics in Gaza been actually coping with the sheer volume of casualties? Yeah, we've just actually lost Suhir Zakut there. A little bit of an issue with connection. Was expected not the best of connection with Gaza right throughout the last 2 days. We will try and cross back to Suhir, spokesperson for the International Committee of the Red Cross in Gaza, a little later in the programme to get her take. A lot of interesting questions to talk to. Actually, we've got, maybe the guest is now back. Yeah, we've got the guest back now. Suhir, can you hear me, hopefully?
Yes, it's me.
Oh, yeah, perfect. Just a little bit of a connection issue, but we'll keep, we want to get some answers, so we'll keep talking for as long as we can. How have medics in Gaza been actually coping with the volume of casualties there?
It has been a tough day on Gaza yesterday. Tens of people lost their lives, thousands have been injured, and this is far beyond the capacity of a health system which was weakened in the past with the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Doctors were struggling yesterday to cope with the influx of the patients in hospitals wouldn't have been possible for it to cope influx in time. Like Shifa Hospital only was dealing with 400 injured, wounded people. At the same time, the doctors were all overworked over the 7 past weeks already, and yesterday came to deepen the crisis at hospitals. Hospitals have been working with limited resources. Doctors were working around the clock to cope with the influx of the wounded, and that was a challenge for the doctors. The triage, I mean, Gaza doctors also with the testimonies of our surgeon teams who are deployed in the hospitals, stand side by side to the doctors at Gaza. Their testimonies that Gaza doctors did a very good job in a very limited resources. They know how to deal with the patients, but it was just far beyond their capacity to cope with. For example, yesterday, the Palestine Red Crescent Society, whom their access to the border area to evacuate wounded was facilitated by ICRC through the dialogue with all sides in Gaza and also in Israel. They were overwhelmed with the number of wounded evacuated from the border area. They deployed their administrative cars to the border area. Such ambulances, 8 ambulances were not enough, so they were using their administrative cars, which are not equipped to be as ambulances. So this how the scene was in Gaza.